Let's discuss two of the most talked about cryptocurrencies in this current bull run, and that's XRP versus XLM. Now, full transparency. I'm not going to make you click on any discords. I don't want you to buy any courses. I'm not selling you on BTCC. There's no affiliate links, none of that nonsense. And I'm not going to waste anyone's time. I'll say it right off the bat. I'm heavily invested in XRP. Currently, I don't hold any Stellar Lumens, but that might change in the future. And I'm actually going to discuss the scenario in which I would be comfortable starting to invest in XLM. So with that being said, we're going to compare XRP versus XLM, talk about some of the key differences. I've made videos in the past discussing the tokenomics of XRP, XLM. I just covered Stellar XLM in full, and I've made a ton of videos over the past couple of weeks on Ripple's XRP, some of them even controversial ones that hit nearly 100,000 views. We're going to discuss all that. So, how are XRP and XLM similar? They are both trying to solve the same problem. They want to have solutions for fast, low-cost, cross-border payments. And the respective native tokens of the projects, the whole point is to have them as a bridge currency. Now, the target audience for these projects is very different. In Ripple's case, which is the company behind the XRP ledger and the XRP, they're trying to target huge financial institutions, banks, governments. They're trying to provide enterprise type solutions. They're trying to replace Swift, right? The global messaging network that also actually has its own offerings. I might make a whole other video on Swift and actually discussing, can Swift collaborate with a company like Stellar or with a company like Ripple? We'll discuss that in the future. Or can Swift just go and replicate what Stellar and what Ripple is attempting to do and create its own type of crypto, its own stable coin, and have those solutions? And even can it go ahead and make something extremely similar to XRP and XLM? That is for another video. What I want to point out here is that Ripple, XRP, they're going after the giant financial institutions. They want enterprise solutions. In XLM's case, the company behind the project is actually trying to go after financial inclusion. They're like a more ethical Ripple, XRP type of situation. They're going after small businesses. They're going after migrant workers, sending money back home after they're working in another country. Speaking of who's behind these companies, another key difference is the organizational structure. So Ripple Labs is a private company, and they're the company behind XRP Ledger and XRP. They were created by Jed McCaleb and some other people. I've covered that in videos. Take a look at the videos I put out over the past couple of weeks. You'll learn a lot about these two projects. But Stellar XLM, the company behind it is actually a non-profit. It's called the Stellar Development Foundation, and believe it or not, it's also created by Jed McCaleb, who had a disagreement with the way that Ripple Labs was running things, and he went ahead and started Stellar. So the projects were really similar, but then they changed. I cover that in a separate video, and I want to mention that this is a reason why I'm actually not invested in Stellar, and I'm invested in the native token behind Ripple, which is XRP, because it's a private company, because they're going after enterprise solution, large financial institutions. Okay, if I was looking to invest in something that is more abides by the tenets of cryptocurrency, decentralized, trying to aim after financial inclusion, available to everyone, open source, absolutely, I would be interested in XLM. But I am interested in making my crypto bag heavier, and I just feel like there's a lot more potential when it comes to XRP. What Stellar Development Foundation is attempting to do is very noble, but it's going to be slower to monetize their target audience and the utility behind the native token, and I believe there's less potential for growth versus something like Ripple XRP. Again, if you take a look at the trillions that Swift is handling as a global messaging platform, if XRP, if Ripple Solutions can even take a portion of that, and XRP is still the bridge currency behind Ripple Solutions, wow, there's a lot of potential there for the price of XRP to skyrocket. And that's why I'm more bullish on XRP in that sense. As far as tokenomics go, it's very interesting. XRP has 100 billion tokens. They're technically a little bit deflationary because anytime transactions occur on the XRP ledger, there's a little bit of burn, but it's negligible. The whole point of it is to not spam the network. For XLM's case, it's a very, very similar tokenomics. They actually also started out with 100 billion tokens, but they had a burn situation take place where they burned 50 billion tokens. Now, to not get too into the nitty and gritty, because I have made tokenomics videos in the past, and a lot of you are here after watching those videos, I do want to point out that there are pros and cons to something like XLM having 50 billion instead of 100 billion tokens. The smaller supply could limit liquidity if Stellar Solutions and XLM becomes the go-to solution. There's mass adoption, especially if there's large scale transactions that could actually hurt XLM in the sense that they only have a supply of 50 billion and other people are also going to be holding on to it. So the circulating supply is going to be quite small. And if a massive amount of transactions are taking place, there's just no way that Stellar Lumens could be the bridge currency because the math just isn't mathing. If you're not sure, watch the video that I put out on XRP situation that hit almost 100,000 views. There's a lot of good comments there, but still no one has accurately and definitively appeased the worry of what happens when there's large scale adoption and can the system actually handle it as far as dependent on what the market cap is and there only being 100 billion tokens. So definitely watch that video. I don't want to go too much into it at the moment because I want to discuss the differences between XRP and XLM. Doing a lot of research, I see that Ripple has a lot more prominent partnerships and the pilot programs they have and how deep the companies are in with Ripple solutions. It's more bullish to me because of all the financial institutions, banks versus something like Stellar Lumens. I know IBM and some other partnerships they are in place and they're working on having more. But the high profile institutional adoption that screams to me that there might be potential for this project to skyrocket, if I had to pick one at this point in time, I just have to go with Ripple XRP. I also want to point out XRP has a first mover advantage. It was there a few years before Stellar XLM. So there's a lot more people that know about XRP. And there's something very interesting that happens psychologically. If XRP was to hit all-time highs, if it was to go to $4, $4.50 during this bull cycle, you're going to see so many people FOMO in that used to be a part of the journey because they were a part of it and they had to sell because they had to pay a mortgage or they just went on to another investment and all of a sudden it's taken off. But they used to follow XRP and now it's taken off. They used to believe in it. They want to take part in it and they're going to be incentivized to YOLO and FOMO in a lot more than XLM investors because it's just not as popular. If you look at it by market cap, XRP is like 12 times larger of a crypto project than Stellar's XLM. The other thing that I'm really excited about is the potential of an ETF. Now, I'm going to make a different video detailing how ETFs actually affect the price of a crypto. A lot of people are confused about what an ETF is, how it actually affects a project. And so I want to cover that in detail. But I will say that if there's an XRP ETF coming out soon, that is going to be so good for the short-term price action. It's not always the greatest for the long term, and I'll describe that in a different video. But I do want to point out, what is more of a likelihood? There being an XRP ETF in the next couple of years or there being an XLM ETF? I think an XRP ETF is going to come first. And that is why I'm heavily invested in XRP. I've been dollar cost averaging in. I now have more than 11,000 XRP, and I'm actually planning to continue to invest in XRP, but I'm very closely following the project. And you better bet that if during this bull cycle XRP goes up a lot, I'm taking profits. I'm not saying I'm going to sell it all, but I'm not someone here that's going to say, I'm just buying XRP and I'm going to stick it to the banks. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to give it away to my grandkids. I'm not doing that nonsense. And if you're listening to other channels that are talking about that and saying XRP is going to $150 and they're never going to sell, they are. They're just talking you into buying it because they want to sell before you do. That's just the way it works. I've been around for a long time. I've been investing for nearly 20 years. I followed it on the stock market. Believe it or not, a lot of the stuff from the stock market, the psychology of it, does translate to crypto. Crypto is definitely a different beast, but a lot of the same stuff that's happened on the stock market happens in crypto, especially now that crypto is no longer just a secret, just a bunch of fringe people, a bunch of, video gamers and people that hate the man are investing in crypto and not a lot of people know about it. Crypto is mainstream now. Every hedge fund, every financial institution, every prominent, Goldman Sachs or whatever, they have all these trading desks to deal with crypto. Look at what BlackRock's doing. All of these different funds that used to hate, that used to shit on crypto all the time are now championing certain projects. Crypto is now very much mainstream. And so now the game's changed a little bit. I'll be covering that a lot on this channel, but what I want to jump into now is actually show you the price action. Since we're comparing XRP versus XLM, I want to actually show you percentage-wise how they're similar and how they're different, and again, why I decided to go with XRP as my main investment. And currently I'm watching Stellar Lumens, XLM, the price action, how the project is evolving, but I'm not quite ready to put my hard-earned money and invest in XLM. So if we take a peek at CoinMarketCap and we scroll down here, you can see that XRP and Tether are playing tango where they're switching lead and follow as it pertains to market cap. XRP currently has a market cap value of $129.45 billion, whereas Tether is at $139.64 billion. And so that makes XRP currently the number 4 largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Now, conversely, if we scroll down and we take a look at Stellar XLM, we can see that it's actually dancing tango, but it's a dance of 3. You have Polkadot, HBAR, and XLM, and they've been switching places a lot because their market caps are very similar. Here's something that people notice. Stellar's XLM is valued at a market cap of $11.32 billion, which is so much less than a cryptocurrency like XRP. And they get excited about that. They say if Stellar XLM in a couple of years reaches the market cap of XRP, we are talking about nearly a 12x climb, which means if you put in $10,000, you can make $120,000 if it matches today's XRP market cap. So now I want to take a peek at what the price action has been doing. So if you look at the 1-year chart, you will see that if you invested in XRP 1 year ago, your investment would have grown 269%. And if you invested in Stellar Lumens a year ago, your investment would have grown 198%. Still very impressive, less than XRP, but it's really hard to compare charts like that. For instance, if we take a look at the 5-year chart of XRP, and then I go over here and take a look at the 5-year chart of XLM, it's really difficult to just stare at a line chart especially. Candlestick chart might give you a clear picture because it's really showing you the highs, the lows, the opens, right? Whereas this is kind of rounding it off and it's not going to show you the true peak. And aside from that, just visually, it's difficult to tell, which is why regardless which platform you use, it's always helpful to compare the investment directly on here. So here, if I click compare and I select XLM and I scroll down to lumens, you will see that what happens is now we're seeing the chart as percentage gain and loss depending on what our time period is. So for the 1-year time period, it paints an interesting picture here, and you can see that ending the actual year, there is a much different story. So it looked like they followed each other quite closely, and if you take a look at the 5-day chart, you can also see that XRP and XLM follow one another so very closely. However, if you look at the 1-month percentage chart, it paints a very different story. If exactly a month ago you invested $10,000 into XRP or $10,000 into XLM, you can see that your XRP investment is actually up 55%, whereas your XLM investment is actually down 36.33%. If we look at the max chart, it actually paints a much more interesting picture, and you could see here also that when these highs and breakouts occur, XRP has been winning the game as far as percentage gains. And that's really what you should be caring about as an investor. You can't compare different cryptos by just looking at price and price gain or price loss because of their tokenomics are so different and there's so much at play. So you have to look at it as percentage gain and percentage lost, because again, that's all that matters when you are investing. It's not the US dollar value that it went up or down per single unit of crypto. It's always the percentage. That's an easier way to think about it. And so just based on this paints a more winning scenario for XRP. I do want to say though that looking at these charts, you can say that both of these, XRP and XLM, follow each other relatively closely, not one-to-one, but still closely enough that some people do feel the need to diversify, and they do want to invest into XRP. They want to invest into Stellar Lumens. They want to invest into HBAR. They want to invest into a couple of different types of crypto that are aiming to do very similar things, but they want to have a diversified crypto portfolio in that utility aspect of the crypto. I am not somebody that just because I'm invested in a certain project, I want all the other projects that have a similar utility to miserably fail. I actually think that in some ways competition is healthy in this space and that there's multiple cryptos that can win. It's not just one in every single, section of utility as far as crypto goes that's going to win. The other thing I want to say is Stellar XLM, the whole thing about going after the average person or the small businesses or financial inclusion. There are so many different cryptos that are actually doing something very, very similar. That's why the project of Ripple and XRP excites me, because they're actually going after large financial institutions. There is more that has to take place in order to actually have good rapport and snag these high profile clients. I feel like the team behind Ripple, they've been at it for such a long time trying to schmooze these large financial institutions, these governments, these wealthy individuals to go ahead and look at their platform and the solutions, to sign up to the pilot programs, to have actually noteworthy institutions go ahead and utilize their products, to have high profile institutional adoption. This is something that's really difficult to achieve. You have to be very specialized. It takes a different type of connections, a different type of sales team, a different type of schmoozing. And I feel that Ripple has been at it for so long that they can be successful. I do not think they're going to overtake Swift, but they don't need to. They just need to take some market share away from what Swift is doing with its global payment system, and also have to compete with the different types of offerings that companies like Swift are going to put out. There's no way that Swift's just going to roll over and say, okay, the trillions of dollars that we're processing each day, you guys have a better product, so just take it. They're going to compete. They're going to put out very similar products. It's going to be a very dog-eat-dog world in the next couple of years when it comes to Ripple XRP, when it comes to Stellar XLM, when it comes to some of these other cryptos that I will cover in the next couple of weeks that are also trying to achieve similar things with the cross-border payment solutions, low cost, fast. I'll introduce you to some really interesting projects, even ones that you may not have heard of that you could keep on the horizon, because who knows, maybe one of these like penny stock cryptos that I cover actually starts to do well. But I love doing research on crypto. I have been a proponent of crypto for a very long time, and personally, even though I'm not invested in Stellar Lumens, I still would love to see a lot of these companies succeed. The more crypto companies that succeed, that have actual utility, the better for anyone that champions crypto. So with that being said, I do want to remind everybody, please don't just watch your crypto portfolios. Keep an eye on your mental health. Keep an eye on your stress levels. Pay attention to your loved ones, your friendships, your passions in life. Let's not just stare at candlestick charts. Let's actually enjoy the world relish the moments that we have. It's the holidays coming up. Hopefully a bunch of people are going to learn about XRP and XLM, and even more people are going to invest. But enjoy your loved ones. Don't sweat the small stuff. And hopefully I will see all of you in the next video.